Welcome back to the Homeschool Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Bex Buzzy. Today's guest is Paul Biondino III, founder and creator of Squeeze 10 Commandments game. As a devout lover of God and his 10 Commandments, Paul has always felt a duty to share what it is like to always be with the Lord, and especially spoiled by him. Paul wanted to create an opportunity for children to have a chance early in their lives to know God in this way. Loyalty to God and his commandments is the key to obtaining his great promises for us. Could there be any promises in our lives better kept than God's? Paul believes that our obedience to God molds the composition of our faith. Promises of God to those who love and teach his commandments are the pearls to great life. Those who truly love his commandments receive spiritual wisdom, protection from danger, personal freedom, and many other temporal and spiritual graces. Paul's mission is to share with all God's children that loving God and his 10 Commandments offers a lifetime of inexhaustible personal and spiritual favor. He tries to accomplish this through the Squeeze 10 Commandments game, allowing children to play, learn, and celebrate. In this episode, we talk about how we need to put a strong early foundation into our children, giving them the first golden key for life, loyalty and obedience to God and his commandments in return for earthly protection and favor. And lastly, how the game helps all kids regardless of challenge. So go grab your coffee, go grab your tea, and a pen and paper, because you're not going to want to miss what Paul has to say. Welcome back to the Homeschool Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Bex Buzzy. Today's guest is Sandra Baliski, author of the Framework Math series. Sandra has a master's in teaching with a focus in math and a double major in math and English. She has taught in 4 different school districts and 2 online schools. Sandra has tutored math to students of all ages, and she is passionate about creating math resources. She currently homeschools her 4 children and appreciates their continual help with beta testing math activities. Sandra created her content because of the overwhelming crisis of a nation crippled by math anxiety. Her experience as a high school math teacher inspired her to create a math program that was cohesive across their K-12 career. She also wanted to help students think about how numbers worked and give them the confidence to play with numbers and do things that made sense rather than experiencing math within the rigid confines of memorization and algorithms. In this episode, we talk about how math is awe-inspiring to see the fundamental pattern and logical, predictable structure that is woven throughout the fabric of our universe. Also, how math is so much more than arithmetic. It's truly the language of the universe. And lastly, how Sandra helps your children see through the forest of the trees in Numberland and overcome math anxiety through her work and program. So go grab your coffee, go grab your tea and a pen and paper, because you're not going to want to miss what Sandra has to say. Let's get into the podcast. If you love the conversations we're having here on the Homeschool Advantage podcast, follow or subscribe our podcast to stay in the loop and never miss this amazing content. And please highly consider taking a minute to leave a positive rating and review to help others like you discover this show. See you next time.